Nothing says greedy fucking commercialism like putting 20 ads before a 10-minute video. You know how hard it is to try to watch a music video on YouTube now with all the new fucking ads? It's basically like what would happen if you tried to watch the Super Bowl uninterrupted without 55 words from their sponsor between each quarter. This would be tolerable had it not been for the fact that a lot of the ads are almost a minute and a half long, to the point to where those who are not watching the video or know the video's subject matter somehow begin to think that they are now part of the fucking video instead of YouTube's effort to monetize the fucking thing. And I understand that monetization is how a lot of these people sometimes put bread on their table, but what pisses me off about it is the fact that YouTube essentially disables ad blockers. And if you use an ad blocker they cannot disable, they will essentially hold you at gunpoint and put shit like this screen cap I'm about to show you on the screen, basically saying that if you don't disable the ad blocker, they're fitting to bust a cap in your ass. I mean, the best way to put that is essentially like what would happen if they had you sitting on a live grenade that they could pull a pin on at any given moment if they felt so inclined, and then at the same time they're trying to make you be fucking okay with it. Here's the thing. I'm not going to make any fucking pretenses about it not being their platform and about people not being obligated to play by their rules, because we are. There are rules and guidelines we must adhere to upon using the platform. It's in the fucking end-user license agreement that when we get the privilege to post on this fucking cesspool of stupid bullshit, we more or less understand and acknowledge the fact that there are rules that we are going to have to fucking follow. Okay. But the problem is when the rules start becoming some draconian enforcement of a corporate campaign to push bullshit into your face and keep trying to shill you garbage that you didn't want or ask for, then it starts to sound a lot less like a social media platform, and it starts to sound a lot more like some shitty wannabe store that is trying to push merchandise on you that it knows for a fact no one else wanted or no one else asked about. And then they have the nerve to be upset that you want to circumvent that because you don't feel the necessity to waste all your free time fighting against ads instead of just trying to enjoy the content that you were trying to fucking watch. Like, this would essentially be like what would happen if someone was in a movie theater and they just kept walking up to you and putting bullshit in your face to distract you from what you're trying to fucking watch. The only difference is, at least the movie theater gives you snacks when you pay for it. YouTube Premium is basically just their way of begging for money so they don't fucking harass you every 5 minutes. That's really what it is. No one wants to pay for YouTube Premium because nobody wants to pay $12 a month just so they don't get harassed by ads that they realistically shouldn't have to fucking put up with anyway. Nobody should be held at fucking gunpoint because they refuse to watch 50 ads for a 10-minute video. And a lot of this shit can be blamed specifically on YouTube, because realistically the average creator is not going to put 50 fucking ads in their video, because realistically very few people are greedy enough to try to squeeze every fucking penny out of people, unless it's people like NNA Productions or Boogie at that point, because then they'd be begging for whatever fucking nickel they can scrape out of the bottom of the shit-covered trash can they've been living out of. But this stuff right here it's ludicrous. It's beyond compare when it comes down to the level of inane horseshit they are now trying to put you through. You know, I've only been on the platform for maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 years in terms of actually building a decent standing and trying to build a standing that wasn't based upon being fodder for stupid bullshit. And in my time here, upon resurging and building myself back up and growing the fuck up as a person outside of the internet, I realized that being here has taught me 3 things. 1, you can be punished for fundamentally no reason so long as some pussy has a crybaby bitch story to tell someone that's gonna run and scream to the people that run the shit. 2, you cannot bother to report anyone because realistically, regardless of the validity of your complaints, they are going to be brushed under the rug and ignored, just like what would happen if someone tried to tell you what they saw on Epstein's Island and before they mysteriously end up suiciding themselves with a shot to the back of the head somehow, And three, any type of disagreement with the platform or any type of scrutiny that you will give the platform will be promptly ignored because a lot of these changes were pushed forward even with people in focus groups telling the people in charge of Google and YouTube that they didn't much care for the changes. And honestly, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, if it gets better at all. I personally don't think it's going to get any better. I think people are just going to get shittier and shittier and shittier and shittier about this stupid fucking ad bullshit to the point where it makes the website almost fucking unusable because everyone that wants to use the fucking app now, whether it be to post content, share content, or simply view it, is going to be going into an epileptic fucking fit because of all the fucking pop-ups and ads they have. I would not be surprised if YouTube just ends up adapting like a fucking Pornhub or a X videos fucking format eventually, where they just start throwing pop-ups every fucking place you are on the site, regardless of whether or not they even warrant a fucking pop-up. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was that kind of shit. They literally just start doing the porn site treatment, where they just start bombarding you with bullshit, so that you have to click off every fucking thing before you get to what you watch. I don't fucking understand. I don't understand. And before someone says, you've been on those sites, no, I'm using examples that would probably be relatable to people who've seen that kind of shit. And I'm an adult. What I view as so long as legal is it's not anyone else's fucking concern, because realistically, I'm about as vanilla as they fucking come. And I will admit that with no shame at all. But the fact is, it's getting fucking ridiculous. It's getting to the point where the website's almost unusable because every time you, like, imagine wanting to listen to like a 20-minute story on YouTube, and that 20-minute story is stretched to almost 45 fucking minutes because you cannot skip the ads. The ads are almost 5 minutes in fucking length, to the point where it's like one of those shitty infomercials got edited into the fucking video instead of being played over it temporarily. And it's gotten to the point to where even trying to unwind with a story or two on YouTube has now become a race to the skip button every single time something interesting's about to happen that you don't want to fucking miss. Now, with that little bit of the video out of the way, let me talk about the mentions panel for a minute, because apparently everyone likes to abuse the shit out of that now too. The problem with the ability to mention people in your community tab is the fact the community tab was given to everyone. I do mean everyone. Like, it could literally just be some rando making 500 burner accounts that he's gonna use one, cycle to another, use one, cycle to another, use that, cycle to another, use those, cycle to like 10 other fucking accounts. You get the gist. And then, like, basically they can just tag one motherfucker or a group of motherfuckers over and over again, just ding, 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 tag, 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 over, with stupid shit. With literally fucking stupid bullshit that no one gives a fuck about, that has zero fucks to do with what anyone else is saying or doing, because the person wants to be an annoying little dick sucker to everyone. And the problem is, due to the fact that there's no requirement, there's no limit, there's no fucking, I guess you could say there's no criteria to meet to actually be able to have a community tab now, because they give it to every defective that has an account now. Excellent job, YouTube, by the way. It was a fantastic job giving people like it's an excellent job. Giving people like Nice Lowwolf, Adrastia, the UTTP people, and all these other fucking incredibly broken mongs a community tab where they can just relentlessly harass people that they felt have wronged them, or just for attention in one way or another. Fan-fucking-tastic idea that was. You know, while we're at it, why don't we just make the site completely unusable and just fill it full of even more unnecessary bullshit than we already have? And just see how many fucking people just look at this shit and tell you to go fuck yourself because they realize that you've essentially made the website almost unusable for people that are not mentally fucked up or retarded. I mean, really. It's gone to the point where a person cannot maintain a platform on this fucking website without either sucking YouTube's dick or without being the biggest cantankerous toxic shit cunt in the world. And the weird part is, the people that act the shittiest somehow get away with it. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me why. I don't fucking know. I don't think anyone knows. I personally just think these motherfuckers are small enough to slip under the radar, or they're just big enough to where YouTube doesn't feel like putting up a fight. It's like whenever you hit that sweet spot of like under 500 or between 500 but under 1,000, it's like when you hit that little sweet spot in between where it's like you got a decent amount but not quite 1,000 yet. That's when they give a shit. But when it's some no name that has like 15 subs that are all bots of the same account, they don't care if this person is actively breaking TOS, harassing people, fucking with people, threatening them, swatting them, etc., etc. They will not give a shit what these people do or what they do in their community tabs when it's harassing people and fucking with them to be an antagonistic little shit. But if you call them a cocksucker or something for whatever reason, you can get hit with a guideline strike. And the funny thing is, I have a little complaint about that too. Now, recently, I had a guideline warning that expired, but it should have expired in fucking June, and it didn't expire until like fucking November 10th. Because the strike I got happened in fucking March. It would have expired in June of the same date. On March 10th I got it. It would have expired on June 10th. And for some fucking reason it didn't expire until November 10th. How the fuck does that work? A 3-month strike somehow manages to go almost 9 months. Why? Like, why is it that it didn't expire on its own? Why did they have to take guideline school to fucking do that? Yeah, by the way, I love having my intelligence insulted by some stupid fucking screwhead who's probably gonna babble, like, just plain unintelligible gibberish to himself. Just. Do you understand what you did wrong? No, I don't, because I didn't realize that calling someone a dick for behaving like a dick was the same thing as what they were doing, which was threatening to fucking shoot me and blow my head off, or gut me, or kill my family, or burn my fucking house down. Yeah, that kind of shit. Because apparently, if I say you're a very disturbed little fuck and there's a lot wrong with you, that somehow warrants death threats and threats of violence. Okay, and it's always because the person receiving the threats is somehow more at fault than the person actively issuing the threats. And it's all because the person issuing the threat usually just pulls this act. I'm retarded, so nothing I do is my fault. You know what you're doing when you're doing that. You know what you're typing when your fingers are on the keyboard, and you know what you're saying when you're recording audio. Unless you're a fucking schizophrenic and you genuinely have no idea where you're at, or if you're having a dissociative episode, if you have DID, for example, where you genuinely don't know what the fuck is going on around you. And I very highly doubt that people that do that shit often are having those kind of convenient episodes only in those particular moments. The odds are astronomically against that. That's like rolling 20 on a 20-sided die every time, all the time, regardless of how many times you throw the fucking dice down the stairs to get that result. But yeah, there are people that get away with being complete scumfuck shit assholes, and I had to go through fucking guideline warning school off camera just because. Well, we want you to understand that the user safety is the most important thing, which is why you had entire channels operating for years that specialized in doxing people and more or less trying to organize people getting swatted and shit. But remember, you care so much about health and safety when literally no one monitors this shit and tries to actually comb through it to shut it the fuck down. Fantastic. But yeah, let's get back on track. The problem with giving everyone a community tab is that people will literally make 15 to 20 alternate accounts just to abuse the shit out of the fact they all have a tab. And basically what that means is that people can form little lynch mobs of their alt accounts and themselves, basically trying to run people off a platform with bullshit. Even if no one believes it, you've essentially given them the tool to harass people and waste their time and be irritating to them, without actually properly doing anything to really prevent it, because you're not giving them any sort of requirement to have a tab or to mention people. And something that Professor Curious brought up, which I think is a pretty valid idea. If someone is going to be able to mention you in a tab, you should have the capacity to either edit or contest what they're saying about you in the tab, instead of hearing about it later, after they've just got done issuing threats to you, or doing whatever they believe they could use to try to more or less make you fear for your position in life or fear for your position on a fucking platform. All I'm saying is YouTube's gonna keep fucking itself up. It's gonna keep doing worse shit to itself over and over and over again. And I personally don't think that it's gonna get better. I think what we have is what we're gonna be getting. And I think we're either gonna have to kind of accept it, get used to that, and just try to grab our ankles and take it, because I'm sure as fuck not giving YouTube money for no reason. Or we're all gonna have to do some sort of mass fucking exodus to another platform because realistically it's become almost non-viable. And as much as it sucks to say it, YouTube might not be the best place for anyone like myself, or anyone for that matter, that is not willing to just bend over and be crushed, or kneel when someone says kneel. Anyone with an outspoken opinion about anything is essentially under threat now because YouTube will actively gun your channel down if it feels like you said too many mean words. And honestly, if a platform is going to keep becoming worse and worse from this standpoint, I'm not even sure I really want to fucking be here anymore. But I'm just going to have to wait and see and hope things either improve, or at least they would stay just the same now, to the point where maintaining a presence here might still be somewhat enjoyable. And with that, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.